Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on Capnclydes MTG. Today, we're going to take a look at some Magic the Gathering Arena announcements because I'm tired of covering Ravnica and we need to talk about something else. And I know this sucks too, but hey, welcome to life. Anyway, before we get started, don't forget comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and it'll help keep the channel sponsor free. Unless you're ShamWow, you're welcome to sponsor anytime. Quick disclaimer there. Links in the description. The eBay store, TCG Player, help support the channel. Get the cards you want. Can't wait. February's coming up. We're going to do some Karlov box openings. And there's Patreon in there. We got new memberships up on the channel now. Hook me up. And if nothing else, hey, subscription's free. And just watch a few videos. We're also on Rumble. Check us out over there. Now, without further ado, let's talk about Magic the Gathering Arena announcements because as I scrolled through this, some of this I thought was very, we'll say, amusing, to say the least. So, we got some things here we're going to talk about. Karlov Mana, Explorer, the Open, Alchemy rebalances. This is the part that's funny. You'll want to see this. So, as we get started, Murders at Karlov Manor pre-orders begin January 16th. So don't forget, you too can pay around $50 US for digital items you'll never physically own and can never get rid of. It's like buying the whole game when you're already playing it. Don't do that. But if you want to, because apparently you've got more money than you know what to do with and are poor at investing, you can get this pack. Get a Massacre Girl sleeve, which that art could definitely been better, but not bad. 50 packs of Murders at Karlov Mana, 5 golden packs. You get the girl and art style card, and a card to be revealed on January 16th. Like anybody cares, but anyway. There's also a pack for $25. It's the guy because we're cheap dates. Anyway, Forensic Doctor Companion, you get the sleeve, you get the little toy. Notice up here there's not an extra little dude, which is kind of weird. But anyway, you get the sleeves, the dude, you get the card. You get 2 draft tokens, a sealed token, 5 play points, which is basically play to win to enter tournaments. That's so wrong. Anyway, you get the art card style and the card itself. Next we have Kaya. Wow, she's a cheaper date than us guys are. Anyway, so Kaya, you get the sleeve, you get Karlov Manor Mystery Pass, or Mastery Pass. That's kind of cool, I guess. You get the art card and the regular card. I mean, you can, if you just play every day and do your dailies, you'll have enough gems to get this. You don't need to spend this kind of money. But anyway, we'll move on. Next we have the Explorer Qualifier Weekend starts today on January 12th. So, you'll be watching this on the 14th. To the best of my knowledge, nobody's really playing this. I don't think anybody cares about this because it's Explorer and everybody don't care about Arena. This ship has really sailed as far as being a competitive environment where people give a crap. But anyway, it's pretty much Arena has really become the, we'll say the free version of Magic Gathering, Moto or, well, man, what was the old ones we used to play? Anybody else remember? Put them down below, like, not Mage Tower. I don't remember. There are free Magic games you could play, Magic clients you could play Magic on to, with your friends and stuff. And it was really good for testing out decks and cards, and that's about all we're in for. But if you played it this weekend, more power to you. Like I said, it was Explorer. I looked at it, I seen it, and I saw the cost of it, and said, no, thank you. Now, we have an Arena Open, Lost Caverns of Ixalan, starting 20 through 21. That's pretty sweet. If we have any member subscribers by then, I'll probably do a live stream of me going through and playing. That'd be kind of cool. I might play regardless just because it might be kind of cool. Let's see what we got going on here. Let's see, an invitation to February Weekend Qualifier. Win as much as $2,000, which it's not really a whole lot of money. Let's see, you can have fun and earn prizes. Every player receives this sleeve, which is Quanturius Cond, I guess, which I really thought this could be better. I don't know what's going on here, but it is what it is, I guess. So, Lost Caverns of Ixalan, another opportunity. Arena Open. I don't know. It just doesn't tell us what the format is, I guess. Arena open, coming. Huh. Well, anyway. I guess we'll figure out once it gets here. So now for some alchemy rebalances. This is where it's going to get good. This is the funny stuff, like I said. So we'll start off here. We have Maria's Outrider. This was a 4-4. Now it's a 5-5 for 5, which is fine with reach. Also changed. Deals damage to an opponent to deals damage to any target. Pretty good upgrade for common, although I don't think it's really going to matter. It still won't see any play unless you get it in draft, and then it's just going to be busted. Rita's Fire brand changed power less than Rita Firebrand's power to power less than or equal to her power. So it's made her a lot more stronger. A lot more? Is that a word? Anyway. Briar Hydra. This is an interesting one. Changed the cost from a green and 5 to a green and 3. Was a 6-6, now a 5-5. This seems perfectly fair. Let's take 2 mana off of it and make it 1 power and toughness less. So a 4 mana 5-5 with trample. And also domain, by the way, which is whenever it deals combat damage to a player, put X +1/+1 counters on target creature you control, where X is the number of basic land types among lands you control. That's not busted at all. Then we have changes to the Sprouting Goblin, probably one of the best sealed cards I've seen in a while. The activated ability is now just tapping. You don't even need a red, so yeah. Apparently, that whole tap 1 mana to tap and draw a card is not as good in this card as it would be on the One Ring, which is, yeah, you're sacrificing a land here, but yeah. So anyway, this card just got way better. Good old Sprouting Goblin. All right, next we have the Land of War Green Widow. The activated ability, which was a green and 7 with domain, is now a green and 5 with domain, which means for 1 green you can play this thing. So, I mean, it wasn't really rocking anybody's world to begin with, so it just kind of makes it a little more playable, I guess. Now, this thing, the Land of War Loom Speaker, Jesus. So they changed the power of the land when you animate your lands from a 3-3 to a 4-4. Because heaven forbid, most creatures have the ability to block the land you send in and kill it, making the card reasonable. Instead, now we have a 1-3 unreasonable mana dork that can kill your opponent in 5 turns uncontested instead of 9 turns or 8 turns. 8 and 3 is 24, 7. So 5 turns instead of 7. Yeah. Seems perfectly fair. Also now large enough that most wipe effects don't kill him that are in red. Yeah, just perfect. Just makes perfect sense. Just, yeah, fine. Just fine. God, I hate alchemy. All right, next we have Sunbathing Rootwalla. Domain was a green and 3. Now it's a green and 1. Which means in a turn it gets +1/+1 for each non-basic land type you control. I think this is fine. I think the 4 mana was really a bit much for what it was doing. However, 2 may be a bit too little. Because, yeah, at worst, you're going to spend 2 to make a 2/2, spend the additional 2 every time you want at least a 4/4 or better. Can't get too good, but seems fine. Next we have Scout the Wilderness. So I think they finally fixed this card. A green and 2 to search your library for a land, put it in the battlefield tap. If you kick it, you get 2 1/1 white soldier tokens. It was a white and 1, so it took 5 mana. Now it just takes 4. That makes it really good and really playable. I'm not sure if it might be too good, but we'll have to wait and see because that's pretty good. But I mean, with rampant growth and things like that, you know, getting played all the time, I think 4 mana for this kind of effect, it just seems fine. All right, next we have Neil Arzov Aeronaut. I'll probably butchered that name. So the cost was a blue-green and 2 for a 2/4. Now it's a blue-green for a 2/2 that does the exact same thing. I mean, probably just because nobody was playing this thing, just because it was just trash. But anyway, next we have Rada, Coalition Warlord. Was a green, red, and 2. Now a green, red, and 1. So you get a 3/3 for 3, which is really good. But it also changed. It's whenever it enters the battlefield or becomes tapped. That's going to make this card really good. Because now you don't have to wait to swing with this thing. You can just put it in the battlefield, pump some team, pump somebody on your team and just go ham. So this thing's going to probably get an upgrade in a couple of decks. Next we have Ruluk Mons, War Chieftain. 2 green and a red and 1 for now. Was a 3/3, now it's a 4/4. Makes a little more sense, but it already had Menace. And whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, you get the ability, which is really good for an uncommon. Holy cow. But probably the thing that really breaks this whole thing open is good old Soul of Windgrace. So casting cost the same, power toughness the same, abilities. Now every ability on the card only costs 1 of that color. So for 1 red, you can discard a land and draw a card. For 1 black, you can discard a land and give him indestructible and then tap him. For 1 green, you can discard a land and gain 3 life. This makes this card a lot better than it was in Alchemy. And, whew, boy. This is the thing we're just going to start doing now. Once cards get old and they rotate out and they're not playable because they would be broken in the current formats and the older formats are not. So in Alchemy, we're just going to go in and just start taking mana costs off of them so their abilities actually matter and make them playable. Is that a thing? Instead of like reprinting good cards? Whatever. Alright, next we have Titania, Steward of Ties. Blue 2 green for what was a 3/3, now a 4/4. And also says target lands instead of being 3/3s now become 4/4s. Again, making lands and creatures so big that you can't bolt them. Because heaven forbid that be the standard for the last 30 years. We should probably change that because Lightning Bolt clearly is too good. And we need to make a new Lightning Bolt that does 4 damage. I'm paraphrasing. Anyway, next we have Urg, Spawn of Turg. Surveil, instead of Surveil 1, now it's Surveil 2. And the activated ability cost 1 colorless, sacrifice a land, where it was a green and a black. So this just got way better, way fast. Next we have Thran Portal. Remove Thran Portals into the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or fewer lands. Yeah, so now Thran Portal comes in the battlefield untapped regardless. So this is going to be in every deck. Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, we already have all kinds of other good lands that we could reprint into this. But why do that when we can just modify the ones that already suck? I mean, I guess. Anyway. Next we have Zar Ojoin, the Scion of... yeah, whatever. Anyway. So this thing now has they enter the battlefield or becomes tapped ability of Domain. Which, if you don't know what that is, it's whenever it enters the battlefield or becomes tapped, you put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control with toughness less than the number of basic lands types you have among your lands. So, if you're playing a weenie deck and this thing comes to the battlefield, everything's getting big quick. So, that makes sense. Anyway, we have Geology Enthusiast. Was 2 blue and 3, now it's 2 blue and 2. Was a 2/5, now it's a 3/4. It also has Vigilance. It has activated ability, costs 5 instead of 6. So basically they realized that they made this card completely wrong and decided to just make a new one by altering the entire card instead of just putting this version of the card with all the stuff that it changed in a new set. So we just have both versions. But anyway, we have Excavation Explosion. Now deals 4 damage to creature or planeswalker. Again, since every creature is going to have power and toughness of 4/4, hell, you might as well make all the damage do 4 damage too. That just makes sense. Right? Yeah, right. Anyway, Hurkyl's Prodigy. Changed that you may pay 3 colorless, that you may pay 2. Hall of Targon. Activated ability, it was 4. Now it's only 3. I mean, I guess we weren't using enough Power Stones. Might Stone Animation was 4 to cast. Now it's 3. Also, change draw 2 cards and discard 1. Okay. Karn, Living Legacy. The ability, load the -1 ability to 0 and the -7 ability to -6. So now it only goes up until you ultimate it. That seems fair. Not. I don't know who's doing these changes. Anyway, splitting the Power Stone is now an instant instead of a sorcery. And also removed if they sacrifice a legendary permanent. So, now at instant speed for a blue and 2, you may sacrifice an artifact. I'm sorry, as additional cost of the spell, you sacrifice an artifact. Then you make 2 Power Stone tokens and draw a card. Just period. Shahili, Filigree Master. Change the +1 Scry 1 to +1 Scry 2 if you control an artifact, draw a card. So you ain't got to tap an artifact anymore. So now it makes it easier for people who are playing artifact decks to draw their cards without using their resources. I'm sure that'll work out just fine. Urza's Power Stone Prodigy, instead of a blue and 2, is now blue and 1. It's a 1/3, and they removed Vigilance. That's probably a fair trade, actually. All right, next we have Thran Spider. What they changed was put one of them into your hand, the rest on the bottom of the library. Random. They just, I guess they cleared up some English for somebody. Next we have Mishra's Evacuation Prodigy. Instead of a red and 2, it's a red and 1 for a 2/1. Seems pretty good. No longer has haste. That's probably a good thing. Urza's Command goes to -3/-0 instead of -2/-0. Change, create a tap Power Stone token to create 2 tap Power Stone tokens. That's going to make that a lot more playable. The Ocean Courier, red and blue for a 2/2, now says seek a non-land card. That's really powerful. And for Visions of Phyrexia, you get to use the 2 cards top of your deck until your next end step. You may play those cards, meaning you won't lose them as soon as you end your turn because you have to wait till your end step is over. So that's kind of neat, I guess. So, with that being said, that's really only the changes that there are. Well, I mean, I guess there's the midweek Magic stuff, which is Historic Pauper, Brawl, and then a Phantom Bot draft, and Murders at Karlov Mana in February. Quick drafts are going to be Ixalan, Brothers War, March of the Machine. Other events, Jump into Middle-earth, Emblem, the Lost Caverns of Ixalan Quick Draft, Arena Cube Draft, Standard Metagame Challenge, Timeless Metagame Challenge, January Qualifier Events, Best of 3 Qualifier Play and Explorer, Qualifier Event Weekend Explorer. So, January is out of the books to play anything on Arena for anything worth a damn because that format sucks. Competitive play schedule, nobody cares. And then you have some qualifier events here you can take a look at. We have January's is, again, these are all Explorers, so we don't care about that. But in February, we actually have Murders of Karlov Manor Limited all of February, which is going to be really sweet, and I hope to be on that. Arena Open. Here's the actual format. January 2021, Lost Caverns Sealed, and then Draft. That's actually something worth playing. That's kind of cool. And then Arena Championship 5. You can see who's qualified, so forth and so on. Also, here's the cards you'll get at the end of January's ranked season. Dire Flare, C-Note Scout. This has not changed. If you haven't seen me go over it before, pause the video, take a look at it for yourself. It's always the same. So, there you have it, guys. Sorry it took so long, but I really got a kick out of some of those changes on Alchemy because it's almost like they don't know how to do their job. And then when they're like, we're just going to fix this. And you're like, this is your idea of fixing? Anyway, till next time, be kind. And as always, I hope to see you across from the game table. God, watching Wizards of the Coast do their things like watching Stevie Wonder trying to teach somebody how to drive a car. I take that back. Stevie Wonder could probably teach someone to drive a car better than this.